Hi, welcome to my channel, John Myers, the world's best mediator. Here you get perspectives that no one else in America, if not the world, is going to tell you. Okay? Because of my unique experience, you're going to get different perspectives. And stick around to the end and talk about our training, coaching, and mediation that'll benefit you and how you can get on the path to doing these things. So the topic today is how liberals elected Donald Trump and how he could fail. And I'm talking about 79%, as you can see from the thumbnail. So the mandate to me was not for Donald Trump per se. The mandate, if you will, on the part of the American public was for sanity. And when I say that, I mean, it doesn't matter if you're liberal, conservative, anything of the like. Really, cooperation, rationality are the things you want to see. I mean, anybody who looks at my history going, well, see, I've had liberal roots. I got Robert Kennedy, the father's, one of his very last autographs as a young boy. Was on the Cambridge City Council. So I have a lot of history, but my views have grown and evolved a lot over the years. And what people really, to me, the mandate of the election was that people, you give some credit, you give credit to Elon Musk and Donald Trump in some ways, they said that the liberalism of today has gone too far. The overemphasis on identity versus merit and principle and this kind of thing that would just to denigrate and put people down. That's what really elected. There's an expression that I use. I'm in Newton, Massachusetts. Newton's third law. Every action has an equal and opposite reaction. And why I've said I never bought theories that America was going to, this is our last democracy and this and that, because I understand through my experience that we have an underlying resilience. We have a deeper resilience. And that sanity, if you will, that, said that what liberals are preaching has nothing to do with liberal policies or conservative policies. What liberals are preaching now has gone too far in terms of identity politics. To me, it's even further. I call it, Elon Musk calls it a woke mind virus. I call it, more generally going across the political spectrum, a spiritual virus. But when we're not looking at what's truly best for people, the American people, we're not looking at how to serve people. We're not looking at fairness itself. We're just saying we have to win. Our side has to win no matter what. And that's what was really rejected. And thank God there is a center. When my young, and I'm always young at heart, but when I was in politics myself, I always found, just advocate for your viewpoint. And the key is you have to be mindful of you advocate for your viewpoint and be mindful of the other side, because it's not like a bowling thing where we just set up people and knock them down with a bowling pin. The other side doesn't necessarily go away, and you have to work with people, and if not even learn to respect other points of view. So the fact that after January 6th, I thought there was no way in the world Donald Trump could be re-elected. And yet liberalism, that zest to put him down, and that, going to the fastest point and saying, he's a totalitarian and all that, that pushed it out so far extremity that voting for Trump for some people was sensible. It wasn't that extreme. And so liberals, by their going to that most extreme point, ended up electing Donald Trump. And in the same tone, that's how he could fail. Because he could say, along with Elon Musk and others, that, we have a mandate to do whatever we want. Well, respectfully, 50% or 50.2% is not a mandate of 100%. And even if it was, there'd be a need for responsibility. So it's not to come in and say, we're going to change everything and go after everybody who didn't who didn't agree with us and all this kind of thing. It's again to understand, 79% of the American population said that we're not on the right track. So that goes across, that's 79%. That goes across political aisles. And I have a theory like 57% at least want sensibility. So you've got to meet that 57% and realize that 79% said, we're not even on the right track at all. So that includes a lot of your supporters too. And so that where we have to raise is, and this is where my coaching training and mediation would come in. I mean, my goodness, is strength philosophy and all psychology and all kinds of things to work with. I would offer it to Donald Trump. I would offer it to Elon Musk. They might scoff, but I would say, I don't know that Donald Trump would. They would move us to a higher level to say the key is to serve the American populace. Yes, make some changes. If you feel government is bloated, that's one thing. If we have to close the border, the biggest question where I don't think either candidate really answered compassionately during this election was, how do people feel? And again, that's 79%. People don't feel that we're in great shape. They don't feel the country's going in the right direction. And so Americans will know there's a sensibility in the middle. There's a sanity in the middle. And if on one hand we start, Donald Trump and Elon Musk, start going after people and, losing sight of that sensibility, the part of the American public that says just do the job. Now, when Elon Musk says woke mind virus, or I even go further and say a spiritual virus, there are deep systemic problems in the United States. I mean, I saw them because I was raised with a civil rights background, and I got thrown decades ago into a divorce system and saw lawyers and others just kind of tearing families apart, tearing people apart. And I said, no, this is not going to happen. I'm going to stand for fairness. So the real virus, if you will, within the American system is a lack of fairness, is corruptive attitudes on the part of people. And I think 79% of people want fairness. That's what people really want. So if the work of this administration is some way, not in a punishing type of way, to go in and root out corruption in some way, that would be an enormous service to the American people. That our legal system, financial system, Bernie Sanders says our systems are rigged. Our legal system, that's what we have to have, be fair and honest at root. And I've seen decisions that are related to children, made in awful ways, not with the true interest at heart. And that's where we've got to get to the real interest. So if Donald Trump in some way, and I'm throwing Elon Musk's name in here because he's very, out there, famous in putting it out there that, what's going to happen and what needs to happen. There could be a misread. And I want people to succeed. I want Democrats to succeed. I want Republicans to succeed. There could be a misread of what the American public is saying. It's saying, do the job. Yes, close the border. Yes, if you find corruption. Folk, again, like we say with immigration, you're going to go after criminals first. So if you're cutting government, go in and find corruption first. And restore honesty. Set a tone. If you did nothing, if you really wanted to bring change, Donald Trump, if you went in there and instilled integrity back into our, ironically, we might pose it for Donald Trump, but at least he's got a mandate for some change to instill integrity in the American system and to connote that we're going to strive for service, that fairness to the American people is what we have to have and what we need at root. You would have done an incredible job. So it's not to go after this one. Yes, they're corrupted people. If they're really bad people, get them out, of course. Mainly set the tone for a better way. So I did say that, in terms of the training, coaching, and mediation I offer people, I have this concept of societal champions. I believe that companies, families, and individuals need to have the psychology and training that I offer through our training, coaching, and mediation, because it's based on goodness as strength. It's there is what I call a spiritual virus, and the way to defeat it is to find your purpose. And we have this magic, this science of going in and helping companies, families, and individuals find your purpose, develop it, and then articulate it, communicate, appropriately assert it into the public at large. And that's what needs to be done. So go to our website, learn more about our training, coaching, and mediation. You can send me emails or contacts through the website. But, what we need, my psychology is raising us to a level of service and just doing what you're supposed to do. There's nobility in the person who sweeps the floors. There's nobility in the person who's the President of the United States. We have to, support and develop that nobility. And, and this is what we have to do. So the whole key is service. And anyone who doesn't understand that could fail. And we don't want people to fail. We want success.